What's up, everybody? I am doing the review on Marilyn Manson and Rob Zombie's show Twins of Evil 2 right here on Trendkillradio. What's up, everybody? I am Sean Ryan. Today I am doing the show a little differently because it's just me and Edgar. Say hi, buddy. Jimothy is out of town and Coley is... who the fuck knows? I have no idea. Yeah, let's get into it. Back in March, we discovered that Marilyn Manson was going to be doing another tour with Rob Zombie. I'm assuming this is Rob Zombie's idea, which was a shock to a lot of us because if anyone remembers the first Twins of Evil tour, there was a lot of fucking problems. Well, not a lot of problems, but Marilyn Manson, he had a couple strong words to say on stage, which, you know, little classless move on his part.
And I'm sorry if you came to see Rob Zombie and he can't come on because I'm going to beat his ass. Twice. 3 fucking times. But I'm going to find my mother.
And then, you know, Rob Zombie responded.
But I have to ask you a very serious question. A very serious question. Take a look at this. Does it look like it's been kicked by anybody? No, it has not. Some fucking weirdos like to talk a big game. They're gonna kick somebody's ass. Fuck you. So I hope you enjoy the last night of this fucking tour. We've toured with everybody. Pantera, Danzig, Megadeth, Testament, Slayer, you name it. It's always been fucking great. But some tours do not fucking go together. But some people are just so fucking full of shit, it drives you fucking crazy. That's bullshit.
You know, back in 2012, he said, you know, he threatened to beat Rob Zombie's ass, which, I mean, if you take a look at Marilyn Manson and you take a look at Rob Zombie, you want to find out who's the most in shape fella. Yeah, I don't think Marilyn Manson's going to be doing too much ass beating. Back in 2012, yeah, Marilyn Manson had toured with Rob Zombie as a co-headlining tour, but, you know, it's always Rob Zombie headlining because, you know, he's just, you know, he puts on a good show. Let's start off with Marilyn Manson. Okay, so this was done at Blossom Music Amphitheater, where I was at for Weezer. And, yeah, I'm going to say, spoiler alerts, I'm going to be talking about what songs that he played that night and what's probably going to be going on for the rest of the tour. So if you're going to go out, if you're in another city and you're going to go out and go check out the show or something, you want to be surprised, as if you would, you know that he wasn't going to do like Dope Show and Sweet Dreams. Like, no shit. Of course he's going to do those things. But yeah, this one was he has quite the catalog. I'll give him that. Like, you know, Irresponsible Hate Anthem. If I can recall, that's his first song. It's not even really like a song, it's just what he comes out to, but I swear to God, it was different than what he used to come out to. So, I mean, I don't even think that's the same thing. Maybe remixed or some shit. I don't know. Anyway, so, you know, he does Angel with Scabbed Wings, The Powder His Roll. You know, he does Deep Six, and he does the new shit, Disposable Teens, Mob Scene. He does some newer stuff, Kill For Me. I don't know. He didn't do Tattooed in Reverse, which I was kind of bummed out about. I thought his last album, that was his best work, really. Yeah, for a guy that's supporting his recent album, he only did like 2 songs off of it. Which I thought was kind of a stupid move. I think if you're trying to be relevant and you're trying to put out new stuff, you should just play new stuff. I think a lot of these bands that like they've been around for so long, and this includes Rob Zombie. I mean, it's just like it's kind of a greatest hits tour, and it's always bothered me. I mean, if you're not gonna play Beautiful People and Sweet Dreams, like I completely understand that you have to do that, or you'll get chased off the stage with pitchforks. You just get lynched. So I don't know. I wish he would have just gotten rid of some of the stuff and played some new shit. No pun. But I think he only played like one song off the Pale Emperor, and that might have just been for live reasons, though. It's a really good album. I think it was his comeback album, to be honest, because Born Villain sucked ass. It was terrible. It was a fucking shitty album. I have 4 songs from that album, and they're not even that good. I'll tell you that right now. But when he made his comeback with Pale Emperor, he kind of just realized that he had to pay his dues. He was, I don't know what to say. He was just borderline end of career, basically, and he hooked up with Tyler Bates, who was a movie not producer, but he does scores for films and stuff like that. And he had worked with Rob Zombie a couple, 2007. So it was a lot longer than I thought. You really forget. Sorry, bud. But yeah, Manson knew he really just had to step his game up, and he hooked up with the right producer and the right co-writer for his songs. And the Pale Emperor, he came back and he did a damn good job, really. But okay, yeah. So let's take a look at some of this footage a little bit more in depth. The one thing I noticed is Manson's bloated, and he just doesn't have it anymore. Like his voice is blown out, and it's very obvious to tell that he just seems beat up, and he just seems a former shell of himself. Like I really wish, Coley saw him on the Guns, Gods, and Government tour all those years ago. I really wish I was into Manson and I would have gone to see him at that time, because right now we're just seeing the shell of the fucking rock star, the performer that he was. Now he just seems bored. When he did Antichrist Superstar, he was up on a podium, and you would swear he was 2 seconds from just going like this and singing into the microphone. And he's just shouting, and he has to sit down a lot, and he's just beat, man. And it's honestly probably too much drinking. I don't know how many. I know he's a coke addict. I don't know if he's doing that too much, and he's just beat up every night, and it screws up his voice. I wish he would kind of get his shit together, because when you're going on tour with Rob Zombie, knowing what Rob Zombie is capable of in terms of a performance, I would think that you would want to, there would be his ego is gigantic, so I would imagine that, he would just go I want to do better than the guy that's playing after me. I want to, be the next big thing again, and come up, and hopefully one day Rob Zombie be opening up for me, but it's just not the case. It just seems like he's bored doing what he's doing, and I don't know if he's just tired of doing the old songs, but he's certainly not playing enough new ones, if that's what gets him excited. I don't really know what his fucking deal is, but he's Marilyn Manson, and Marilyn Manson doesn't give a fuck. So, so these videos, they just kind of just show what he's doing and how he's performing. And it's just a lot of just shouting, and it's not even recognizable shouting. He's just going into a fucking microphone, and it's not that great. I was pretty disappointed. I knew going in that I was going to be disappointed with Marilyn Manson just because of everything that I've heard. I don't know what his career is going to be like in a couple of years. I honestly think that the best thing that would have happened for him is if he were to have died at an early age. And I know that sounds super morbid and super bad, but I think that's something that, if he were to have died after Hollywood, he would have had far more of a legacy and be considered something a lot better than what he was. I don't know if it was Jimothy or Coley, when we did an update, we were talking about Kurt Cobain, And it's just like, would you still be listening to him or Nirvana all these years from now? And would he be considered one of the greats of all times? Like, because you're gonna have bad albums. Like, I get that with everyone that has a career spanning 20 plus years. But I don't know. I just don't see an upside for him. But he ends his set with who wrote it originally? Echo and the Bunnymen off the Lost Boys soundtrack. Cry Little Sister was his. He put out this song a couple of months before the tour, probably a month. I mean, a lot of bands are doing that now, where they throw out a single or something before that. Rob Zombie and Marilyn Manson, they did a cover of the Beatles' Helter Skelter together, which I'll be covering in a few minutes. But I don't know, that's a good song. And in a studio, he's really great. I really think Tyler Bates like really pushes him to sound the way he used to and to sound better. But live, I don't know if he's just partying too much or if maybe he had a bad night. He just doesn't seem to give a shit. You know, there's just this apathy that you can just sense with his shows where he's just, there's no longer a danger and an energy to him like there used to be, because I've seen old footage. I mean, he has videos that were released on DVD where I've seen him, you know, in shape and wanting to fucking shock people, and now he's just like, I'm getting old, I don't give a shit anymore, whatever, fuck it. So that was Marilyn Manson. All around, pretty decent. You know, it was fun. It was cool hearing those songs live. I had never seen Marilyn Manson before. So, I don't know. If I were to give like a rating on his performance, I'd say like 5.4 out of 10. You know, if it weren't for the songs, if it was just a guy doing songs you had never heard of, you have no business being on that stage, you know. But it's the shit that was written in the past that he's still kind of thriving off of that still makes it relevant. So that was Marilyn Manson's performance. Okay, so on to Rob Zombie. So in this time frame, by the time Rob went on, it was finally dark, because that's the most bummer thing about shows in the summer, especially outdoors, where like the sun's out and you seeing Marilyn Manson in the sun. Like, I mean, he's covered under this giant roof. It's an amphitheater, but like just seeing him and it's daylight out, I'm like, oh my God, like it doesn't seem right. It doesn't feel right. That's weird. So Rob Zombie, he goes on and after it gets dark, and he starts off with Meet the Creeper, classic Rob Zombie hit from Hellbilly Deluxe. But he plays a lot off of his last album, Everybody Fucking in a UFO, Get High, you know, Gore Whore, like all these titles have excruciatingly long title names, and I'm just not fucking reading that. But I mean, you know, and he does his thing where, you know, the giant robot comes out and the giant devil comes out, and his stage show is wonderful, man. Like I've seen him twice before this one. I met him back in the show. Like if you look back in our archive, Coley had a good story about how he threw a bottle or something like that, got caught and got put into like, you know, Tower City jail or whatever, which was essentially a dog cage. And Rob Zombie letting him out, and then he does a stage dive after Rob Zombie goes on. But I met him that time, back in the days where you didn't have to pay people, you know, pay musicians to meet them, because they were still making money off of sales, you know. They were still selling CDs, and I think that was kind of the dawn of iTunes, where, you know, you're still making money off of buying those albums online and shit like that. But that was also the dawn of where people started stealing shit, and, you know, the record industry loses $12 billion a year because of it. So now everyone just streams, the artist makes no money, and they have to go on tour and sell their fucking lives for 200 plus dates of the year, and you have to pay to meet them now. You know, $200 something every meet and greet, whether it be Alice Cooper, or Rob Zombie, or who the fuck ever. That's just how they make their money, because, you know, they have to have They have to pay their staff. You think it's just a band going out on tour or something like that? It's not. It's a band plus, $60,000 a month for a bus driver, to travel around in a bus that carries your 4 or 5 dumbasses, and then your staff that puts up all the shit. You got to feed them. You got to pay them. You got to pay your lawyer. You got to pay your manager. You got to pay everybody gets a cut. And that's why you have to pay to meet rock stars now. And it kind of fucking sucks. There's rarely an occasion where you can go back and secretly sneak through and meet somebody. It's heavily guarded, which is how I met his brother, Spider. Snuck down at the Agora after I opened for him. Back to Rob Zombie's show. I mean, he had so many video screens and so many lights, and it was really he puts on a really good show. He wants you to get a good experience for the price of a ticket. I want to enjoy my time. The only reason I'm taking any video is just for this show, just for you guys. I'm not watching it again. It's fucking stupid. I don't watch that shit. I remember being there. It was fucking wonderful. So there's for fans of House of a Thousand Corpses and its sequel, Devil's Rejects, although they're two polar opposite kind of horror movies. It's considered a sequel, and then there's going to be a third one right now, coming out early 2019, along with his new album. I bet they're going to coincide somehow. So, he had this little 30-second trailer, going over a little bit of, Devil's Rejects, and then even a tinier bit of a clip or two of the new movie 3 from Hell.
The most violent crime saga in history.
I am the devil, and I am here to do the devil's work.
At this time, authorities will not confirm if the suspects are in fact dead. Please stand by as we learn more information.
3 from Hell.
And I love all his movies, though. I don't care what my friend Brian says about Rob Zombie's movies. They're entertaining. I liked 31. I liked Lords of Salem. It was a beautifully, pictured movie. You could say whatever you want about the plot. Brian, go fuck yourself. Yeah, so they play that, and then Rob Zombie comes out, and he does he does this little line from Step Brothers about being best friends.
What? Did we just become best friends? Yep.
Guess who shows up? Marilyn Manson. So they come out, and they had previously, right before the tour, they just about a week or 2 ago, they had released they did a cover of the Beatles' Helter Skelter, and they kind of slowed it down and made it a little bit heavier. And Marilyn Manson, surprisingly, he woke up during this fucking song because he came out and he had full energy and he sounded good. So I don't know what he was doing backstage. Wink. But that was a good cover. It's about Charlie Manson, so there's plenty of video going on in the background of Charlie Manson being fucking Charlie Manson, out of his fucking mind. So that was cool, and then he kind of wraps it up a little bit after that. I believe the last song is Dragula. Each band, Marilyn Manson and Rob Zombie, they both played for about an hour, maybe a little bit more. But I liked that Rob Zombie. He just he didn't keep you waiting too much to do the encore, and he just he came out and he did Dragula. And that was the end of the show. So, all in all, that was good, but I mean, like I had said with Manson, if I was going to rate it, I said 5.4 or whatever, Marilyn Manson. Rob Zombie, for that guy being 53, he's vegan, and I'm assuming he does yoga or something. He's still a very slender guy. He's not bulky. muscular-wise or anything like that, but he can do some high kicks, and he does his little Elvis moves and shit, and he's like really entertaining and fun to watch. He bounces around like he's got more energy than I fucking do, I'll tell you that. So he must be living a way healthier lifestyle than I am at 53, me struggling to breathe, falling down on the stage. Like, he did a really good job. So if I give Manson 5.4, I would definitely give Rob Zombie a 9, a solid 9. Like, he and John 5 and Piggy D and Gingerfish, they do such a good job. And you can tell these guys are professionals. This is not a hired gun kind of band. Rob has gone through different members and stuff like that, but as he has expressed in his interviews in the past, a lot of it's not even having to do with him, but a lot of just infighting amongst other members and shit. Like, we know what happened with White Zombie, and I think everybody just didn't like each other. But, back with, like, Riggs and stuff, the guys that went on to go do Scum of the Earth, I think there was a lot of infighting with that. And Rob, he was just miserable, and he brought along John 5 after he was, I think he was kicked out of Marilyn Manson, because Manson, he just, whatever. I don't care what you've done to me. Sorry, but, yeah, that was it. I guess that's just really the end of that fucking bit. Like, okay, so like one of my favorite groups, acts, bands, whatever the hell you want to call them from England, the Prodigy, about a year ago, they released a tweet saying, we're going to be putting out a single around Christmas time, and then early 2018, we're going to have an album. Now, if you know anything about the Prodigy, every time they set some kind of scheduled date or whatever, it never happens. But just the other day, they released a little clip for a video for a song called Need Someone, and it just kind of like came out of nowhere, and they said the next day, they released like the pre-release the next day, and they have a new album coming out in November 2nd, I believe, and the album's called No Taurus, and they released a song with it that you can just buy on iTunes, or you can but you can get the song Need Someone. And to quote Coley, who did not come up with this phrase, it's been around for like 7 years, this song fucking slaps. It is so good. I fucking love it. It is insane. Like, it's only like 2 minutes and 45 seconds, which really bums me out because I want to hear more of it, and I cannot wait for this next album to come out. But it's got 10 songs on it, and I've never been more excited for November ever, because Halloween's my favorite holiday, and I don't look forward to all the things that come after that. Especially living in Cleveland, things get way colder and way snowier in just a month or two after Halloween, so that all sucks ass. That's about it, but there's one more thing that I'd like to bring up. One of my oldest, dearest friends, Brian, he texted me the other day and goes, you know what? Greta Van Fleet is the most amazing band in the world, and they have #1 album that just came out, or single, or something. I don't fucking know. And they're selling out all their shows, and you should talk about them. And, no. Fuck Greta Van Fleet. You get no points for sounding exactly like another band. I know today, like, you have to have an influence from other bands. It's been going on since the dawn of rock and roll, where you pick up influence, and everything's been done right now. At this point, it's all been done in rock and roll, man. Like, but you're going to have influences. But when you sound exactly like someone else, you get no points. You get 0. You get an F, man. Fuck them. I don't care what they're doing. They're not going to go down as some huge band that revitalized the scene of rock and roll. I'm telling you that right now. They're not. They're not that fucking great. They're a bunch of punk-ass bitches in the first place. They put out these interviews where they just go like, oh, well, we're not even really influenced by Led Zeppelin. Fuck you. Bullshit, dude. Like, and I know, like, they're probably just tired of being asked that same fucking question because they sound exactly like someone else. So they're just being dicks about it. But I mean, if you're tired of being asked questions like that, then maybe come up with your own sound. Come up with something different. But no, they chose a stupid route where they want to just sound exactly like someone else just to get recognition and get fame. And I don't care that the fucking singer sounds like Robert Plant and they harken back to some bullshit sound from the 70s. I don't care, man. They suck. I don't fucking like them. You know, so unless one of them falls off the stage and breaks his ribs or, you know, they die in a fucking plane crash, I'm not talking about them anymore. They're not special. They're not good. They're not doing anything progressive for the rock scene at all. And, you know, fuck Greta Van Fleet. Fuck them. And that's the end of our show, Trendkill Radio. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I just want to say you can watch our show. You don't have to be confined to a computer or a phone screen. You can watch us if you have an Xbox, if you have a PS4, if you have a smart TV, Blu-ray player. You can watch us on TV. Please look us up on YouTube. Just search Trendkill Radio, all 3 words. Yeah, please like our Facebook page at facebook.com/TrendkillRadio216. Next week, we are going to be doing a full show, I believe, if we can get everybody's asses together. It's hard, you know. We're all adults, and it sucks. We can't, you know, people got lives to work with. So thank you, everybody, for watching. I really appreciate it. Please feel free, go back in our catalog. Go watch whatever you want, man. There's a lot of really good stories, a lot of good commentary. Like I said, today was not going to be a funny day, you know, which really blows, you know, because I know that's become more of the staple of our show that rather than rock news, and I am seriously no rock journalist or anything like that. I'm not that great on camera, but I appreciate if you guys are watching. Like I said, this was just a review of Rob Zombie Marilyn Manson show. And next week we will have something better. Trust me. So, signing off, I'm Sean Ryan. Edgar. Jeez, man, he's fucking drunk. But thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe. Like our page, you know, like our Facebook page, follow us, do whatever you got to do, and we will see you soon. Thank you very much. This is Trendkill Radio.